Hi Abhinav, welcome to the session. So, could you please give a small intro about yourself and then just start with the questions?
Yeah, sure. First of all, hi everyone. I am Abhinav. I currently work at Amazon as SD1. Uh, I'm 2021 graduate from NIT Silchar. I graduated from NIT Silchar with my majors in computer science
Your
and
audio
engineering.
is very low. Could you please check it?
Just give me. Is it somewhat better?
Yeah, it's fine now.
Okay. So yeah, I currently work as SD1 at Amazon. I graduated from NIT Silchar in 2021 with majors in computer science and engineering. And after that, I worked at SAP Labs for about 10 months. And yeah, after that, I have joined Amazon. And right now, I'm working in the devices org as SD1. Yeah.
Yeah. So, since how much time you have been working with Amazon?
It's been close to 7 months now. I joined in May this year. And yeah, it's been close to 7 months now.
Okay. So, could you tell us about how your journey was in college and did you start working with Amazon right after that or did an internship or something?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I joined Amazon after college this year. Uh, College was pretty decent. I would say that was like the best time of my life. It is actually the best time of anyone's life, if I would say that. Yeah, from the coding point of view, I was into competitive programming from the very first year. I used to code. I used to code on Hacker, Code Chef, and Code Forces from the very start. And I was inclined towards CP in the college itself. And yeah, I that was not my a job was not on top of my head like I am doing CP because I have to get a job. I used to do it because I used to like that. And yeah, after college, I joined SAP Labs from the on-campus placements, and I worked at SAP for about 10 months, and then I joined Amazon.
Okay, okay. So, did you have in mind that you have to join the so-called FANG top companies after college, or
Uh, Not really. I mean, everyone wants a decent job after college, right? So that was on top of my head, but I was not, choosy about a company. Like I have to work in this company, I have to work in that company. I just had in mind that I have to do something decent after college. So yeah, placement was just a part of the journey, I would say. After college, in the college, while I got the internship as well as full-time opportunity, that was like I was not targeting a particular company. It was just like going with the flow and whatever best comes in my way, pick that.
okay? So, how did you get this opportunity? Means by referral or something, or off campus? Off campus, you applied. Hi, am I audible?
Yeah, you're on mute, I'm assuming.
Acha. Now I'm fine. Now it's fine. Hi, now I'm audible.
Uh, yeah, you're audible now.
Yeah. So, how did you get this opportunity? Means by referral or something, or you applied for the job portal?
So actually, I got reached out by a recruiter sometime around February this year. I was reached out by recruiter that there is a open position in this particular team for devices org, and they wanted me to apply for that, and it worked that way. I was not. I did try with a referral before, but that didn't work unfortunately. But yeah, the recruiter reached out to me for this open position, and I went that route.
Okay. So, could you tell us about your preparation journey? Means how did you prepare and how did it go?
Yeah, so I'll start with the college, right? So from the very start, I had a bit of a programming background from class 12th. I had a background of Java, but as soon as I joined college, getting the orientation from the coding club of our society and everything like that. So that triggered my interest in problem solving, and I started with HackerUp, then gradually moved to Code Forces, and courses. I used to do CP regularly from the very first year itself. So I was like heavily inclined towards CP, and uh, I was not much into development part of things. But yeah, CP was my background. I used to work in that. After college as well, when I was working at SAP Labs, I tried to take some time out of my job to continue on that. So I was quite regular even after college, in college, while I was working as well. I used to uh, I used to do a CP and problem solving. Yeah, so that was major part of it. I did some projects around Android when I was in college, and yeah, that was like the major part of it.
Okay. So some of the people asking referral कैसे मिलता है companies में? How to get referral?
Okay, so yeah, so I'll address this. You guys should, I think most of you would be aware about LinkedIn and most of you would be there. So the best idea to get a referral is build connections. Build connections on LinkedIn. Try to reach out to people, not just for referrals, form connections. Reach out to people, engage in their posts. If you see a particular opening, if a recruiter is posting, or let's say hiring manager is posting some openings for a particular company, let's say for a company X, then reach out to people from LinkedIn of that particular company and ask them for a referral. If you know them, well and good, they will provide you. If even if you don't know, just shoot a shot. Like if you message 10 people on LinkedIn for a particular referral for a particular company, for sure at least one of them will be able to provide you that, right? So build connections on LinkedIn, be active there, be aware about what are the openings right now going on, and yeah, just be active.
So DSA preparation. Which website is best for DSA preparation on coding CP programming?
This will be very diverse answer for everyone, right? So folks who likes to do CP and problem solving things would be different for them. Those who aren't into CP at all, things will be slightly different for them. But if you like CP, if you're good at it, if you like it not just for job, but you want to do that because you like it, so you should continue on code forces and codesef. uh, Participate in contests. That will not only build your confidence, it will also improve your problem solving skills. But even not, if you're not into competitive programming at all, then also it is fine. You have heard of lead code and geeks for geeks. Just try to solve problems there, right? uh, and by solving problems, I don't mean just like look at the problem and look at the discussion and just mug up the solution. No, not that way. Just try to tackle the problems in your head. Try to build a solution by your own. uh, do lots of problems, I'd say. As many problems you do, the chances will be greater that you will be able to solve that in an interview, right? So lead code is a good option for most of the folks for preparing for job interviews. Just be regular there, do participate in contests as well, and try to solve as many problems as you can.
Yeah. So how much time do you think is sufficient for a candidate to prepare for a company?
Uh, I'd say it's really not about time, right? So a person who is not who don't have any background about programming, right? It may take more time for him, or if a person has a bit of background, he knows what DSA is. It might take less of the time. So I don't think it's about time. It's about effort. It's about how well you are equipped with all the resources and how well do you know things. But in any standard case, I really not want to take the how much time it takes. But yeah, if you're regular at things, I think 6 months should be enough to crack any company, right? But you should be consistent with your efforts.
Yeah. So main topics you focused on during your preparation and what was your strategy?
Okay, so some of the subjects which are really important, I'd say, for the freshers, which is who are joining the industry, like if you're in fourth year or if you're trying for internship, or you have a new graduate, right? So data structure and algorithms are really important. I'd say focus on that. Core subjects are important as well. I'd say focus on DBMS, focus on object oriented concepts, and focus on DSA. DSA is the main part of it, I would say. Also, in addition to this, build some projects. It really doesn't matter which type of project you are building. You are building a web product or any Android apps or building anything in machine learning. It doesn't matter, but build something, whatever you feel you are good at, right? Try to experiment with things and try to solve the real world problems, right, in your project. Don't just do the projects which are already there. Just don't copy paste those products. And I'd say build products uh, which you think will be a good use case, right? And particular to DSA, I think DSA is really a vast topic, and you might not need all of it in your interviews. Just focus on few of the topics: arrays, strings, linked list, stack queue, and dynamic programming, of course, that is very important, and graphs entries. I'd say focus on these topics. In graphs entries, you don't need to go to the extreme level of problems. You need to be comfortable with the representation and how the basic algorithm work, how the search works in graph and everything, and like the sorted distance problems and everything. You need to be well equipped with these.
Yeah. So, what was the strategy? Means, did you focus mainly on practice and solving, or theory is also important? Very important.
What I believe is particular to DSA, right? Whatever you learn theoretically, it won't really help unless you practice some problems, right? So, but let's say there is a topic, a stack, and you really don't know what a stack is. So, spend some time to know what a stack is. Try to implement the stack by yourself, like in some language like C, like how push and pop works in a stack. But that's it. Unless you don't solve problems related to a stack, you won't really able to understand what a stack is. So theoretically, I don't think it would be of much help to go through the DSA topics. Just do a refresher of what a particular data structure is or what a particular algorithm is, but focus more on problem solving problems related to that particular concept. That should be your strategy.
Yeah. So, how many rounds were there, and could you tell us more about each in detail?
Yeah, sure. So at Amazon, after online assessment, I had 4 interview rounds. Uh, in online assessment, you are given 2 coding problems, and you have to solve those in probably like 120 minutes or so, if I remember correctly. And you have to also write down your approach. How did you solve that problem? I think hiring has changed a bit in last few months, so the online assessment format might be different going forward. But yeah, somewhere on those lines. Uh, about interviews, right? So of the 4 rounds of interviews, first 2 rounds are purely technical interviews, and in those interview rounds you are basically asked so there the interviewer's target is to ask you 2 coding problems, and you need to solve those, right? You need to discuss the approach and form a solution. First of all, you'll be given a problem and you'll have to pick up an approach. You'll have to explain that to interviewer, and after you and your interviewer agrees on a particular solution, then you'll have to code it, right? So in the first and second technical round, this is the format, and you are expected to code 2 problems. Also, they might test you on couple of leadership principles in these 2 rounds. As you might know that Amazon is really picky about their leadership principles, so you need to be good at it. And they also can ask you about your projects, about the things you have mentioned in your resume, right? So this is the couple of rounds, the first 2 rounds. The third round is the hiring manager round, right? So hiring manager round is basically for the hiring manager is basically the manager of the team you are supposed to be on after you get hired, right? So in hiring manager round, they may ask you a coding problem or they may not ask you a coding problem, but this round will be heavily inclined towards the things you have mentioned in your resume, your projects, your past work experience, and things related to that. And this round will be heavily inclined towards Amazon's leadership principle, like they will give you a situation and how did you approach the situation, things like that. So this is the hiring manager round, and the fourth round was a bar raiser round. That is also taken by a bar raiser at Amazon, and the bar raiser is basically a manager which is from the different team, and they will also that is similar to the third round, the hiring manager round, but yeah, they will this might be a bit difficult than the hiring manager round. But the format remains same. You can be asked a coding problem, or you may not be asked a coding problem. But they will also ask based on your projects and leadership principles. Yeah.
Yeah. So, if a situation arises like if you are sitting in front of an interviewer
Yeah.
and we in a coding round, so we is the code final code most important or the approach of discussion?
uh, for sure approach is more important. Being the other side of interview, now that I realize that you really just forming a right solution, the right code is just a part of your solution, right? uh, More important is how you communicate your solution to your interviewer, how well you pick the edge cases, and how well you write your code, right? Your code might not pass all cases, but if your approach is correct, you are writing clean code, you are writing descriptive code, and you are able to explain your approach to your interviewer, I think that matters as well. uh, Clean working code is obviously an added advantage, but there is more to it, right? You should be good with your approach, you should be good with your communication skills, and you should be good with your code writing skills as well, right?
Yeah. So, what is the time distribution that we should take? Means like thinking and the discussion and final writing. Is there any?
I'd say depends on the problem actually. If you are really confident of the problem, like if you have seen it before or seen something similar to that problem before, you can give like 50% of the time thinking about the solution and describing the solution to your interviewer, right? And you can code in the remaining of the time, but try to keep like 10 to 15 minutes of your time for each problem to write code, because then you are expected to also do a dry run on your test, right? So try to give your approach in like 15 to 20 minutes, discuss your approach in first 15 to 20 minutes, and then try to write code and explain it to your interviewer in next 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah. So, what is the main issue candidates face during these technical and HR rounds?
Mm, what I feel is the main issue for the candidates is like even they know a particular problem and they know how to approach a particular problem, they sometimes they struggle to communicate well to their interviewer, right? And that is the key to selection and no selection, right? If you know a problem, good, but you need to explain that to your interviewer. I've seen lots of time that many great guys who have not been able to clear an interview just because they were not able to communicate their solution to their interviews, right? So just don't be nervous in the interviews. It's just like you're talking to your friend, right? It's just like you're talking to a friend and you are solving a problem together. Interviewer is there to help you as well, right? That does not add, if interviewer is helping you clearing your doubts and helping you reach a solution, that does not add negative points to your performance, right? But just communicate well, ask lots of questions. You see a problem, just don't jump straight to the solution. Just clarify that problem with your interviewers. Interviewers also like try to give vague problems so that they expect you to ask questions, right? That is an important trait. So ask lots of questions, discuss your solution, and coding is just a small part of it, I'd say. So yeah, focus on other points as well.
Yeah. One in audience is asking, so CP बहुत hard लगता है कैसे preparation start करें इसकी?
Yeah, to answer that, you don't really need CP to get a job, right? You should not feel forced to do CP because others are doing. You should not do CP because of peer pressure, for sure. If you like it, do try it. I'd say, yeah, do try it. If you like it, well and good. If you don't like it, you should not feel pressure to do CP, right? Then just move ahead from that. Just go on lead code, solve, get a hang of data structures, get a hang of algorithms, solve lead code problems. If you think CP is not your forte, it doesn't matter, man. It really doesn't matter if you do CP or not. No one cares, right? Do CP only if you think you want to do it. It looks like fun to you. Then only do CP. If you don't do CP, that won't add any negative impact, right? Just do data structures and algorithm. Just learn the concept, solve lots of problems. That's it.
Another question from audience: which language should we choose? Java, Python, C++ as a coder?
Uh, Again, I'd say language doesn't matter much. Pick any if you're comfortable. If you know a particular language, you don't need to switch. Just learn a language well and good, right? You should be very confident about one particular language. In addition to that, you should learn one object oriented language, right? That can be Java, that can be C++. But if you come to industry is I wouldn't say heavily inclined, but still there are lots of companies where Java is like the main language, right? But again, you should not be like, if you are working in Python, if you are working in C++, you should not feel pressure to pick Java because everyone else is doing it. Just pick one language, be good at it, and it is really easy to switch between languages. So just pick any one language and be good about it.
Yeah. So, what are the things due to which a candidate should join these top fan companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Google rather than startups nowadays?
Yeah, that's a good question because right now, as you might be aware about the recession and lots of layoffs going on right now in startups as well as big MNCs as well. But I would say startups are still more prone to being, laying off their employees because of the macroeconomic situation going on right now. Joining a startup is risky, but is rewarding for sure because you get to uh, work directly on the product. So you might not get that chance. That's like, if you might get in big MNCs, you might not get, but in startups you're directly related to product. But the situation right now, I'd say it's a bit unstable. You don't know where your future is. So, and particular to the Indian startups, right? Lots of startups are loss making, and it might be a risky at this point. Also, one added advantage to work in big MNCs is like you have a well-defined process for everything. So you know how to pull your package, how to write clean code, how to raise a good CR. So these are added advantages of working in big companies because there are everything is in place. There is mechanism for everything. So at the end of the day, it's your choice to be honest. But yeah, startups might be a bit risky given the current situation.
Yeah, yeah. So, do you still practice competitive programming? If yes, how do you manage time and time management?
Oh, well, I used to when I was in SAP Labs because there I used to get some time out of my job. Right now, it's getting a bit difficult, honestly, to focus on CP as well as on work. But I still try to attend few contests here and there. I'm not regular at it now, unfortunately. But yeah, I do try to take some time on weekends to go through the contests, pick out some problems which I really like, and I like connecting with the juniors and how they are approaching a problems, how they are solving. I like to see their codes, and yeah, a bit here and there. But yeah, I'm not very regular now, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, one is asking which company to join for CSC students.
Man, this is what do I say? This is a tough
Ex-
question. Yeah,
because every
there is no,
company has its own
every
advantages.
company is a good company, man. There is no company to work. You don't work for a company, honestly. You work for a particular project, right? You might be working in a great company, but not so good project. But you might be working in not so good company, but great project. So no, it's not really about the company. If you're talking about the benefits and pay, then you obviously know before applying to a particular company that how much they will be paying and what are the benefits. You can look into that, but from work point of view, it really I can't really, and no one really can pick one company to join for, right?
Yeah, it's
Uh,
strict to a candidate what he
yeah,
prefers to work for.
right. If you are into software development or if you are into data science, if you are into data science, pick companies which are data centric, right? Which are working on machine learning stuff, right? Which are working on AI stuff. It really depends on your interest. If you are really building into large scale, scalable solutions, so might be Google, Microsoft, Amazon might be your choice. It's really about your what do you want to do.
Yeah. So, could people connect with you on LinkedIn for referral or guidance of
Yeah,
some
for
type?
sure. They can connect me on LinkedIn. For Amazon, as you might know, there is a org level hiring freeze going on right
Yeah,
now. So I might
for a
not
year.
be,
Yeah.
yeah. So I might not be able to help with referrals. But anyway, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So, what advice would you like to give candidates who are thinking or willing to join Amazon or some other big company MNC?
I'd say really depends on which year you are studying right now, right? If you are in first year or second year, it's your time to pick your interest, right? Just try to look into things. Like there are lots of tech stuff going on. look into things, experiment with the stuff, pick the one which you find your interest in, and do something about it. If you're targeting a company, if you're targeting placement, and if you're in third and fourth year, really focus on data structure and algorithm, build some nice projects. And also, just not about being good at data structure algorithm, building projects, and learning about the subjects is not about that only. Try to be good in communication as well. That will go in a long way, right? That will help you in the long run. uh, Try to don't try to mug up everything, because you feel like you are in a rat race. Just don't get caught up in that. And yeah, if you hang in there, and if you keep hustling, eventually you will succeed.
So is work from home still going in Amazon, or what is the scene and pros or cons of work from home and working in office?
Yeah, so at Amazon, it has come down to teams and orgs how they want to continue. So the team I'm working on right now, they have gone the hybrid mode. So the one folks who want to work from home, they can work from home, and those who want to come to office, they can go to office. I think I'm a bit more inclined towards work from home because it gives me flexibility to work the way I want to do. It might be a bit difficult to that physical communication between one another, that might be a challenge, but and then you just get used to it, right? uh, but yeah, the working from office has its advantage as well, that there is a setup, there is a mechanism, proper mechanism. So yeah, it really depends on the individual choice.
Yeah. So any final suggestion from your side for the candidates or beginners?
Yeah, so I'd have for the beginners, yeah, right. So for beginners, I'd just say that just don't get caught up. Just try to look into things, try to see what different things are there going on tech wise. Don't just get into the rat race from the day one. Pick your interest, work on it, and keep your goal in mind, right? You have, if you're in first and second year, you have lots of time to get hone up your skill and get placed in a nice company, right? If you're in third and fourth year, and still starting out, that's all right. Just focus on preparing nicely, go through the focus on data structural algorithms, build some nice projects, and keep applying, build network, reach out to folks on LinkedIn, build connections. That will go a long way. And yeah, that would be my suggestion.
Yeah. So last question from my side: how is life going on nowadays?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a bit of thrill since last couple of weeks because of the layoffs and everything. But yeah, it's been fun working as well as after work as well. It's been nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So one is asking, remote jobs are good or not?
Depends on your preference. I'd say yeah, it is good. You get to choose what you want to do. You don't get caught up in the company policies and everything. You are free to, you are independent if you keep working in the remote job. I feel it is good because it gives you a flexibility and the way you want to work. It might not be that easy to find a remote job early in the career, but once you are skilled and you have built a name for yourself, right? You will be able to find decent remote jobs as well. So yeah, I'd say yeah, it's nice. It's definitely nice.
Yeah. So thank you for your time. We're ending this here only. Yeah. Thanks for your time.
Oh, thanks, Sansuman, and thanks everyone. Yeah.